Denel's ability to pay salaries has been hanging in the balance. They've now taken some court action. What exactly is the motive behind this court action?
Hi, good morning, Paul. The actual problem is that not the full salaries were paid, as you have just mentioned, that Solidarity has filed urgent papers in the High Court this morning to force Denel to pay the shortcomings and also the deductions that they were supposed to pay on their salaries, on their employers' salaries. Now, the problem is that those deductions are actually now, the liabilities of those deductions are now on the taxpayer, on the person actually earning the salary, and that has not been paid out. And we want to know, Solidarity wants to know, where is this money? When are you going to pay it out? Because now it's going to become a fight between the actual person, the employer, and SARS. In the meantime, Denel is sitting with all this money. But to tell us more about this, I've got the Chief Operating Officer of Solidarity with me, Dr. Dirk Herman, just to give us a rundown of the background of how we came to this. Dr. Herman, if you can please explain to us, coming from the court papers, why did you take this action? What are you forcing Denel to do to pay these deductions? And also, can you please elaborate on the state capture that you say this is part of state capture and that we must actually now, taxpayers must now protest?
The fact is that workers can't subsidize the effect of state capture, and that is what's happening here. Workers are actually subsidizing the cash flow of Denel, and that's not fair to the workers at all. That is why we've decided to continue with urgent court papers. And this urgent court papers then wants to force Denel to pay over salaries in time, but also to pay over the deductions, like you said. But we also decided to start a process, according to 165 of the Companies Act, to force Denel to do some investigations, forensic investigations, and to make sure that people that's responsible also in the past must go to court. So we've asked for criminal and also civil actions against those individuals. Denel then came back and said that they are doing investigations, and at this stage they promise us that they will continue with civil and criminal action against former executives. Now, that we welcome and that we will follow, because we need strong action. And it's not only employees that need strong action, it's also taxpayers. Our members are also taxpayers, and taxpayers must say, enough is enough. There's a lot of legal instruments that we can use to make sure that we don't allow tax plundering anymore. And those legal instruments is, for instance, 165 at Denel. We plan the same kind of action in Eskom, and then we also plan action against Brian Molefe that also can include private prosecution through Advocate Harry Nel. And lastly, we also have actions against the SAA, and we will make announcements on that, especially on a possible business rescue application against the SAA. So the broad picture is thus, that we as taxpayers must make use of legal means to have a tax protest and to make sure that our money is not plundered.
It's interesting to note that they have paid the salaries, albeit a bit late, but only 85% in the deductions. The deductions are not paid. So where's the money? Did Denel give you any indication of why that specific part was not paid? And what are they planning to do? And where's the money?
How? The money is used to subsidize cash flows. And how can you use legal statutory deductions to subsidize cash flow? And that's our problem, because like you said in the beginning, that workers are responsible to pay over taxes to SARS. The moment that you don't do that, that's actually a criminal offense of the employee. And that's why you can't have some kind of arrangement between the employer and SARS not to pay over the money to subsidize your cash flow. It's simply not acceptable at all, and that's why we need a strong precedent in court to tell the employer it's not acceptable.
Okay, that was Dr. Dirk Herman, Chief Operating Officer, Chief Executive Officer at Solidarity. Once again, Paul, the taxpayer has to answer to the questions that they didn't even take a part in. But we will get more of this later. We have contacted Denel for advice from their side, or for opinion on their side. They will send us a media statement, and we will keep you in the loop on this developing story.